Welcome to OK Bitcoin 69. Consider to subscribe and let's dive into today Bitcoin news.
Today, Bitcoin caps off a strong week of gains by crossing $65,000 once again. Trump plans to host a fundraiser in Nashville while in town for Bitcoin 2024, with tickets topping out at more than $844,000. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Crypto prices moving higher to end the week, with Bitcoin inching closer to $66,000 as of noon Eastern after 2 days of slight declines. Ether's also back on the rise, trading above $3,400 after falling below that level yesterday. And Polygon's Matic token climbed nearly 2.5. Price of Bitcoin also jumped this week following the failed assassination attempt of Donald Trump last weekend. Investors see an increased chance of a Trump victory in the upcoming presidential election, which impacted crypto prices given his recent pro-crypto stance. On top of that, this week Trump announced he chose crypto-friendly Senator J.D. Vance as his vice presidential candidate. Sticking with Trump as we take a look at today's top stories, the Republican nominee for president is hosting a campaign fundraiser in Nashville next week when he's there for the Bitcoin conference. And get this, the top ticket is going for a whopping $844,600 per person. According to an invitation shared with CNBC, the fundraiser will take place on Saturday, July 27th, the same day Trump is scheduled to address attendees at Bitcoin 2024, one of the country's biggest gatherings for crypto enthusiasts. Now, the top-tier tickets include a seat at a round table with Trump and are priced at the maximum donation amount allowed. The next level down includes a photo with the former president. The price tag, $60,000 or $100,000 per couple. Now, this year, Trump is the keynote speaker at Bitcoin 2024, where his appearance caps off a personal about-face from crypto skeptic to crypto champion. In May, his campaign announced that it was starting to accept crypto donations, and it has already received significant contributions from big names in the industry, including the Winklevoss twins, who created the crypto exchange Gemini. By the way, we'll be at Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville next week, and we'll bring you interviews with politicians and industry insiders from the conference.
Rising this week as expectations for a Trump victory in November boost hopes for a friendlier regulatory environment for crypto. The former president set to headline the industry's annual conference in Nashville next week, delivering the keynote at the event. Our next guest thinks Trump's endorsement of Bitcoin will give an even bigger boost for the space. Let's bring in Kor Shane. He's the CEO and founder of crypto investing company DAIM. Brian, great to have you with us. So what are you anticipating will happen here?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And so about a month ago, Trump met with some of the Bitcoin miners, and we think he really got educated on the space. He got educated on how the inner workings happen, about blockchain, and how transactions are verified. And when he goes to speak at this conference at the end of next week, he is going to talk about helping out smooth regulations for crypto. There's been a lot of headwinds in the space. A lot of those came from Gary Gensler. There's been a lot of roadblocks. And you're going to see him come out and say, hey, let's help innovation here. Let's help Bitcoin and blockchain progress. And so, yeah, he's going to speak very positively about Bitcoin here at the conference.
Do you think that these favorable comments could go so far as to indicate that he'd be open to it being a reserve currency for the U.S.?
Yeah, so there were some rumblings of that on X this week. It could be something that's very difficult to get done, but it is possible. The Justice Department holds about 200,000 units of Bitcoin. So the United States is the largest holder of Bitcoin. And so they could easily just move that over to the Department of Treasury and start right there and have 13 billion worth of Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So it is a possible move. It just could be tough to get done. But what happens is the Justice Department, in holding these units of Bitcoin, they've been a random seller in the space. And so if they move from being a random seller at times, which could push the price of Bitcoin down, over to being a long-term hodler, well, that could be really good for the space and push prices up.
Brian, thanks for being with us. Bono in here. So we've heard some chatter about, Trump mentioning something about onshoring mining here domestically. Can you kind of speak to how that might affect crypto prices going forward, or the dynamics, particularly as it ties into there being some reserve currency?
Right. And so Bitcoin mining, it moves around quickly to the place where it could find the cheapest energy. And at times it's Texas, and it's moved to New York, and it's moved to Wyoming, and it goes back to Texas. And so it really depends on striking these energy deals. And so in a pro-business environment, if Trump is able to lower these energy costs for these miners, these miners will then be able to hold more Bitcoin on their balance sheet, further reducing the supply that's available to acquire on open exchanges of Bitcoin. And that could further reinforce the price and help it go up and higher.
He said something to the effect of he wanted to make sure that every Bitcoin minted when he becomes president will be done so in the United States, Brian, which is kind of a funny way of putting it in terms of minting Bitcoin. But I mean, currently, is a lot of Bitcoin actually done here versus abroad? I mean, can you give us sort of that sense?
It would be impossible to mine all Bitcoin in the United States. It's great that he's saying it and, make America great again. And it really will help innovation. It's just too hard to do. There's a wide diversification of miners. They're spread all across the world, and it really goes to where is energy the cheapest. And if you could even put free energy here, another country will give incentives to have Bitcoins mined in their country. It's just something that won't get done. 100% of the Bitcoins mined in the United States won't happen, but more of it happening here by many different companies is always better for them.
Brian Kor Shane, CEO and founder of DAIM, discussed Donald Trump's recent education on Bitcoin and blockchain after meeting with Bitcoin miners. Kor Shane expects Trump to speak positively about Bitcoin at an upcoming conference, emphasizing smoother regulations to foster innovation. There were discussions about Bitcoin potentially becoming a U.S. reserve currency, but this transition could be difficult. Trump is interested in promoting domestic Bitcoin mining, which could stabilize or increase Bitcoin prices. However, Kor Shane points out that mining all Bitcoin in the U.S. is impractical due to the need for cheap energy, leading to a global distribution of mining activities. 1. Trump's education on Bitcoin. Brian Kor Shane, CEO and founder of DAIM, mentioned that Trump recently met with Bitcoin miners, gaining a better understanding of blockchain and Bitcoin's inner workings. 2. Trump's positive remarks. Kor Shane anticipates Trump will speak favorably about Bitcoin at the upcoming conference, emphasizing smoother regulation to aid innovation and progress in the crypto space. 3. Potential reserve currency. There were discussions about the possibility of Bitcoin becoming a reserve currency for the U.S., given that the Justice Department holds about 200,000 Bitcoin units. However, Kor Shane notes this transition could be challenging. 4. Onshoring Bitcoin mining. Trump has shown interest in promoting domestic Bitcoin mining, which could stabilize or increase Bitcoin prices by reducing the supply available on open exchanges, according to Kor Shane. 5. Global Bitcoin mining. Despite Trump's comments, Kor Shane explains that it's impractical to mine all Bitcoin in the U.S. since Bitcoin mining depends on finding the cheapest energy, leading to a global distribution of mining activities.